What is up, y'all? Welcome back to episode 4 of That's No Moon Pod. Today, we got some big news that literally just dropped hours before me recording this. Henry Cavill is out as Superman, and that kind of just shocked the world tonight. We also got some news from Patty Jenkins and the Rogue Squadron film that recently got canned, I guess, or put on hold for the time being. We finally got a new gameplay trailer for Jedi Survivor, the upcoming video game from Star Wars. And those are pretty much the main news stories, Star Wars wise, I think, that recently came out. But this Henry Cavill news just dropped, so I'm going to just lead off with that. And my first reaction when I saw it, he made a post saying that DC and James Gunn, they want to go a different route with Superman and the next upcoming movie, whenever that is. We all thought since Henry Cavill came back and returned for the post-credit scene in Black Adam, we all kind of figured that, he was back and he was going to be the main guy to kind of lead the charge in the next wave of DC films, but now that is officially not the case. I guess my main reaction to it is just, it really kind of sucks because I always felt Cavill was, an excellent Superman. Had the look, had the charisma, the build, just the talent, to play the Man of Steel. And, you could think whatever you want about Batman v Superman or the Justice League movie or even the Man of Steel movie. Henry Cavill delivered. I don't think there's any question about that. And it just sucks because I feel like he never really got, a full shot, or at least another full shot, to prove to everyone that he is the right choice for the job. There was always a bunch of, just bad talk around Justice League and Batman v Superman, and then the Snyder Cut came out and kind of helped redeem it a little bit, but still wasn't really enough because I feel like the Snyder Cut even kind of divided a lot of the fans. Even though, watching the Snyder Cut, I thought it was, totally step up from what we got from the original Justice League movie. And then James Gunn, he pretty much just confirms it with the tweet saying that they're going to go with a younger, or, I guess just a younger Superman in whatever the next project is featuring him. Now, is that going to be a whole new origin story, or are we going to kind of just, pick up, maybe he, we see him in Smallville as like a early 20s possibly, maybe late teens, but I don't know. He was kind of vague with the tweet, not giving a whole lot of info with it. So it could just be an early 20s Superman, still trying to figure everything out, maybe trying to harness all of his powers, his strengths, and kind of going through the tribulations of becoming the Man of Steel as we know him. And yeah, I mean, I know this is going to upset a whole lot of people because I feel like for the most part, everyone loves Cavill. Everyone loves Superman. And DC has been not afraid to can a lot of the projects or whatever you want to call it. It's just a complete mess. It's been a complete mess. Similar to Star Wars, it's like they just want to pump out these movies as fast as they can, get a big name attached to them, and just drop them as soon as they can. And, you know, that's just kind of been their MO ever since Man of Steel came out. And it hasn't really worked out for them as well as they thought, I'm sure. I don't know who they're going to get to replace Cavill. I mean, this literally just dropped a couple hours ago, so even thinking about another actor playing Superman is just kind of wild to even think about right now. It's like thinking about who is going to replace Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. It's like we're just so used to seeing Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Seeing someone else take on that role just doesn't even seem comprehensible, you know? But I trust James Gunn. Do I agree with the decision? No. I think Cavill should keep his role as Superman for as long as you can. I mean, whoever they get, I'm sure will do a good job, but it just won't be Cavill, you know? It's going to feel completely different, obviously. And that's a whole lot of pressure on the actor that's stepping into those boots. And I feel like that's just too much pressure. There's already so much on that character to deliver. And then when you got a new guy coming in to try to take the reins and, you know, go forward with whatever plan James Gunn and DC has going forward with the movies, it's just a lot of ask for someone to do all that. And I feel like they're, you know, making it way too difficult on themselves when they already have the guy. You know, they already have the guy. They have the guy that everyone loves. And they have the guy that loves the character already. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like they're just, you know, they don't know what they're doing yet still, it feels like. But obviously James Gunn has a plan, and Cavill wasn't part of it, sadly. And he's out on The Witcher too. So it's like everyone figured, okay, he's not coming back for The Witcher. Well, obviously, he had to have left that project for Superman. But, I mean, does he go back to The Witcher now? Does he, you know, try to take his job back in that, since he's going to have some free time? I saw a lot of people in the comment section of the posts saying he's probably going to get swooped up by Marvel now to play a character, which I think is pretty much a guarantee now at this point. If not Marvel, for sure Star Wars in some fashion, but I think for sure Marvel will try to swoop him up, give him a big paycheck, give him a cool character to play. And not just any character. I think, you know, you get Cavill in Marvel, you got to give him a big name. And for me, right off the bat, I think Henry Cavill would be a perfect Dr. Doom. I think Doom is someone that fans have been wanting for a long time to be done right. in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I think Henry Cavill has that look to him. He has that, he has that star power. He just has that charisma and just overall, I think he can embody a character like Doctor Doom and just take over the MCU villain role. You don't have him as your Boy Scout superhero. You have him as, the main villain, or at least one of the main villains in some upcoming Marvel projects. And I think Marvel's already chomping at the bit to see if they could get him on board with some kind of character deal, But me personally, I think Henry Cavill would kill it as Doctor Doom. I think that's the kind of guy you want to play such an iconic villain like that. And like I said, he has the star power and the talent to deliver on Doctor Doom, I feel like. I'm sure there's so many other different, characters that Henry Cavill could play in Marvel. But for me, I think you go a little bit different. Make him the villain. And he can show everyone why, he belongs in these types of movies and why he's still, one of the most likable actors working out there right now. So yeah, hopefully we get some more details within the coming days, because this literally came out of nowhere tonight. I'm sure James Gunn's gonna have a whole lot of questions to answer pretty soon. That's pretty much all he's gonna have to be taking care of the rest of this month. People asking him Superman questions, and yeah, I do not envy his position, but I like James Gunn. I trust James Gunn. And whatever he and DC decide to do, I feel like is going to work. It's just a tough pill to swallow right now, knowing Cavill ain't going to be the Man of Steel no longer. I guess those are all my thoughts on that whole ideal. I guess I'll talk a little bit about the whole Patty Jenkins beef going on right now with Lucasfilm. Recently there was some reports coming out on kind of why Rogue Squadron got the, I don't know if it's officially canceled or not, or if it's just kind of in limbo right now, or it's just pretty much on hold. But I think that pretty much means that it's not going to be happening. And I guess one of the main reasons was because I guess Patty Jenkins had a certain kind of look on how she wanted her movie to be, and right now Star Wars doesn't know what their movies want to be, so there was some kind of conflicting interest there, and I guess they weren't too happy with what Patty Jenkins brought to the table, and so they decided to shelve it for now, and that's just kind of where it's at the moment. Which is crazy because there's just so much drama that goes on with Lucasfilm and their directors coming and going. It's happened ever since, it happened with Solo, Rogue One. Obviously we know about, the sequel trilogy, how, we're supposed to get J.J. Abrams for Force Awakens, and then, now what the hell is his name that did Jurassic World again? His name's not coming to my name. What was his name? The guy that did Jurassic World, his name will come to my mind eventually, but they scrapped his idea because They saw the reaction to The Last Jedi, so they bring in J.J. Abrams again to try to salvage what they ruined. And that went to shit, so it just kind of been snowballing ever since, with the creatives and Lucasfilm just disagreeing on where they want to go with the movies. And I don't know, this was just kind of like a little story that popped out last week, and everyone was kind of rolling with it, trying to make it a bigger deal than what it is. But it's like, we already know what it is, you know? It's like, they still don't know what they want to do with the movies. They don't know who they want to bring in. They don't know what story they want to tell. And it's just frustrating because it's been so long since The Rise of Skywalker came out that it's like, you would think after all this time that they would have at least some kind of, some kind of inkling on where they want to go from here and kind of what they want their next story to be. But go figure, they don't. Oh yeah, I guess I'll talk about, there were some leaked photos that came out recently of the upcoming Disney Plus show, Acolyte. There's actually quite a few photos that came out that leaked recently, and they kind of showed a Zabrak character. They showed like a Wookiee type character, and it was pretty much just like all the actors kind of just in costume. They were like in a forest type scenery, it looked like. And some of the actors that came out and said kind of what the show was going to kind of be about, kind of following the Sith, kind of on the rise, on, kind of still playing in the shadows, underneath the Jedi's noses, but they're still like kind of forming and just kind of building and trying to, I don't know, it was just kind of cool to see some set photos from a show that I think has a lot of potential. There's a lot of good talent around it. The story seems awesome. And yeah, that's probably the show that I'm most excited for besides Mando Season 3. I know we got Ahsoka coming out next year as well, which is going to be dope. I feel like Ahsoka is going to be probably like right there with Mandalorian, like kind of just going toe to toe with like which show is better. Hopefully, at least. And I think the Acolyte has at least the most potential so far, just because there's so little of like what we know of it so far. And I know it's supposed to take place, I believe, 100 years before the Phantom Menace, so the timeline is like a new, fresh timeline that we haven't really explored yet, especially in live action. So potential wise, I think the Acolyte has the most so far, and the cast and the little story details that we got from it has got me really excited. And just to close it out a little bit with the Jedi Survivor gameplay trailer that we got. The game looks awesome. It looks like, they kind of listened to some of the fans and what they wanted with some of the fighting gameplay style. It looked like you're going to be able to customize your lightsabers a little bit more, and maybe giving Cal Kestis a little bit more extra skins to work with, some different clothing, and just overall better attire. Wasn't a whole lot of story in the trailer, which I think is done on purpose, because I don't think they want us to really know what the story is really about until we almost get there. But yeah, I think overall, the game looks really good. I'm excited to play it. And yeah, I think, whatever they decide to do with, the upcoming Star Wars projects, video game wise, I think as long as they take the right approach and take good care of, the story that they're trying to tell, I think, and no microtransactions, or at least not that many, I think they'll continue to get us Star Wars fans more on board with the video games. And, as long as the story's good, I think people are going to come back and always want to play them. But, yeah, I guess that'll be it for this episode. I really want to just talk about that Henry Cavill news because that literally just dropped today. And the news is so fresh right now. I feel like, there's just going to be more details and more people speculating and talking about it all. But yeah, that'll be it for episode 4 of That's No Moon Pod. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And I'll catch y'all on the next episode. Thanks for watching. Peace. I'll catch y'all on the flip.